And we're getting things started here on Mirage. 1 win and 9. 1 win starting on the defensive half as it's 9's pick. We'll see how Minio fits on into this roster, but it seems like we're going to get some mid-presence early on, and Deco might get a chance to pop off a couple quick shots. So Molotov will change that. This is the bomb isolated. Whoa, this could actually be bad. Kylar, if he gets stuck by glowing gear, that would be the bomb down, but Kylar will battle his way out, and it's no problem.
Oh, and, well, deep jungle control as well taken in the meantime. They should be able to plant this pretty securely there for the jungle/connector control, leaving Travis and Flamey in a pretty much impossible position at this point. Maybe a few kills would be nice, add some extra money to that bank, but as long as 9 aren't willing to just peek all willy-nilly, there really should be no chance of them managing to find these frags and move forward. So, yeah, they're pretty much given up on that. The kit especially being saved over with a couple of flashes. It can be useful in the second round force buy if you're going for it. But a very convincing start from 9, and that's what you need. As we said, obviously not having their full stable 5. Kai is not in right now. If it goes to a 3-map series, he might be back, which is an interesting thing to have to say. But for the moment, anyway, this is what they're working with, and I like what we're seeing.
This is an interesting one. It's just been a little tricky to piece together. You're going to look as time goes on. But this round certainly looks nicely, and nothing saved through is also a nice little feather in the cap of 9. Unlikely to see the investment here from Win with nothing to put together, but apparently Lollipop disagrees with me. Okay, here we go. They are, in fact, going for the force buy. Deagle's up all the way in. They will dump what little capital they have, and there's really not much. Flamey gonna get the other end of the stick with just a Deagle and a Molotov. So the question becomes, can the scout do anything early on? Smoked off. The answer is not really. Nade, ineffective. Just not looking like they've got a lot to show for it. Minio will take point here. Mid control has been secured for 9. And based on the position of the players in app, this could be a little bit of a split on towards B. And it does seem like as they establish catwalk control, that is the object of their attention. 3 players here just don't actually have a lot to play with. And, well, now their numbers are starting to whittle away too.
Yeah, well handled by 9. Mid control into the B split, keeping the range against the weaker weapons with those rifles, and well, even having a chance now for the SMGs to build up a small bit of money. We'll see if Lollipop wants to maybe just save his one as well. His hopes would be pretty much 0 of retaking his B bomb site, of course. Next, it could be worth it though. Won't be the rifle that comes towards him initially, unfortunately. Minio jumps around the corner and takes him out. There we go. Another round coming through clean from 9. It's going to be flawless with 5 left standing. And with that having been the full force buy as well from 1 win, this is perfect for 9. They went for a relatively secure force buy there with mostly rifles. So they'll be good for the long run. They'll be good going forward into that opening gun round. And now that they're against the full eco, they have another chance for Minio and Goofy to really start building their economy. And they just put themselves in a really stable position going into the opening gun round, so that breaking their economy won't even be a thought process that could cross the mind rather of 1 win. Oh, that was rough.
It's really unfortunate. Lollipop burning. Never had a burnt lollipop before. Not generally encouraged to apply heat, but Goofy will feel a little bit of heat. Tyler's had a really nice start to this map. Talk about it in a moment. See if he can actually be killed here. It hasn't quite happened just yet. The answer seems to be no. Very comfortable round again coming through from 9. It's kind of what we expect. 4 players haven't died yet. It's only been poor Goofy who's been the sacrifice. And Kylar, I mean, it started in the pistol round with those 2 big kills towards ramp, and he's just kept the pace going, always contributing. 6-0 to start. It is very early days, but here come the rifles for 1 win. Op out for Deco. I think we might see a little bit more intrigue at this point here, Dean.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a walkover as the last few rounds have been anyway. 1 win now that they have that up, as you mentioned, especially. The nades could be a little bit better. They don't seem to have a kit either, which could be a problem. Flamey has the money though, so I'm hoping he manages to buy one up before spending the rest of it on nades, because you should still get a decent amount.
So that's what I just discussed in that timeout. Ooh,
Kit, please do it.
Kit.
Come on, Flamey. No,
Kit.
he still has the money. Please. All right, maybe they have some sort of an aggressive play in mind. They're going to get right up in their face, maybe even some mid-aggression. Perhaps the kit won't be necessary.
Okay.
We'll see.
He is flying through. Flamey up the underpass. Flamey. Oh, they're doing the head stack boost here for mid. It's not going to get them anything. Glowing instead going to have to receive a whole lot of players as this is the pace. Accelerated. Nice kill from Jedker. I mean, at this point with the entry on towards B with full site control without a lot of utility for the retake and no kit, one could just save. I think they
Probably agree with it, yeah. I mean, you have one player moving up short, but if he's not given a kill here by someone pushing deep on short, then surely they are just going for the save. You've already got someone waiting back in spawn as well. Clearly, they're not too interested in actually pushing in. Getting away with the weapons, though, that's not going to be as easy of a task as maybe you would have thought either. Quick hunt from SZPERO through the underpass, denies one rifle, and what makes this so ridiculous is just, again, how clean it's looking to be. Sure, they've lost one player now, but they've got most of the rifles standing. They're already building up a good amount of money on this T side here. Nine are just getting off to way more of a convincing start than I was expecting. One win should be a little bit worried at this point.
This is what we were seeing yesterday, right? For being a team that's a little bit of a hodgepodge, that's playing with some pieces in rotation where we're not quite sure what five are going to go in, they're super decisive. It's really nice to see. They're playing solid Counter-Strike. They're very well put together considering the circumstances. And it's tough. A lot of their opponents are maybe having a little bit of rust coming out of the player break. We saw it yesterday with Forza, where there were just rounds where mistakes were being made or where they were stalling out on the calling. They weren't getting in towards sites in time. It is, again, still very early here, but it's just impressive how solid 9 have looked. It's nothing too complicated, but it's working out beautifully. A little bit of mid-presence shown there just with the utility, but it's going to be Minio backing off here. 3 players back in the courtyard as, once again, they did want to see if they could press something towards B, but a smoke will cause them to readjust here.
Yeah, slowing down what will be very likely the late mid control. Nothing too crazy from one win either, just waiting on it to come forward. They have 2 points of contact. They'll hope to take a kill and very likely just actually concede the control, I'd imagine, to be the goal. Timing on the peak a little bit awkward. Molly, unfortunately, will stop his fallback. Thankfully, he gets assistance from a teammate as well. Puts down a Molly of his own, so they should be safe for the moment. But really what they're doing right now is just running down that T utility, making it so they have to work for every step of ground here, really, that they gain in on mid. Just ensure that they're not going to be feeling comfortable even when they do get that map control. But now that they've fully given it up, I'm wondering what the response is, because they're playing passive on A. They've only got one player in on that B-bomb site as well. They really don't have much info about where this could be getting taken now.
They're making the right read, though. Even without the information, they're starting to bring the reinforcements in towards A. Now a player tucked under the balcony. There are still two Molotovs, so that could be a really compromised position. Where are they going to get chucked from? Once the smoke fade comes in, could be a world of hurt. There's already one past the AWP. They don't know who the AWP is here necessarily. And now they do. Deco fortunate to get away with his life. Lollipop will not have that same fortune. At least the connected player is dealt with, but a resmoke there could make things tough. Travis, big pick to find. Keeps them in this round. Bomb's going to be planted. It does go down to dirt, but Travis with another swing. He's making huge moves to keep this team in it. Glowing being so low will go towards the AWP. This is far from a sure thing, but a numbers advantage at least for one win. Problem is, Jedker and Minio have been able to settle down. Minio's the first clear. Jedker is the insurance policy, but without a smoke, we need that insurance policy. First pick found. Minio can't get away, but time's getting short. They don't have kits. They don't have kits, Dean. This might be done on the clock alone. As long as Jedker survives here, I think this one's over and done with, and I think one win have realized that that's the case.
Even with that final kill coming that's all it is, just a little bit of damage, which really isn't going to have much impact when you've got most of the players already for 9 well above 10,000 here, and well, obviously leading 5-0 on the rounds as well. So while they have a couple saved weapons themselves, they'll have to just buy up around it and hope it's going to be enough to get something on the board here, because sure, this may be 9's map choice, but still, this doesn't bode well, because while one win did manage to grind out their win on Dust 2 yesterday versus SAW, and that's maybe why they've chosen the map in here, SAW aren't really a team that's built as much on firepower. They're more about the teamwork, they're more about getting the basics as perfectly as possible, and I don't think Dust 2 is a map that plays as well into that sort of style. So I feel like 9, if they can take a convincing win here on Mirage and just go forward onto Dust 2, still feeling that momentum and feeling as crisp as they look at the moment, then I would definitely be worried for one win. Straight into the A execute.
Call. There's a gap in that smoke. He's trying to play off of it, but I think they're wise to it. Utility sailing in is going to coax him in towards the firebox. A lot of utilities already been spent, so presumably they're going to commit behind this. It's a bit of a duel, but they haven't actually found any kills just yet. Now here's the swing, but the instant trade works out in favor of 9. If they can get this bomb down before any of the smokes fade, this is a really tough spot for a retake for Win. And as we've talked about, with the economy here on the CT side being so brittle, I don't know if they're going to fancy the retake. They've got a lot of nades to save. They've got the AWP. They've got 2 rifles. There's a lot of value in what they're currently holding here, Dean. I think they're once again playing an approach of seeing if they can get a pick, and if not, might be around to concede. Travis, the only one who really looks like he wants to get into the fray, into the fight. Well, they're about to lose the AWP in jungle. Tight shot, tight angle, tight fight. Deco down, and now Travis in a tough spot. He will get his, but he's alone. And as such, he's got to beat a hasty retreat, and it's a retreat he will not be through. Jedker at least takes his teammate as his sacrifice along with, but 9 are perfectly happy to throw some bodies on this.
Yeah, it's not even putting a dent in their economy really at this point. They can lose players as long as they aren't freely throwing ops away every round, and it shouldn't be doing too much damage to them. Plenty in that reserve. On the other hand, the same cannot be said for One Win, who are well, currently still being eluded by that 1 round win that they need to really get things going in the early stages. Unfortunately, it's only one player who can't fully buy. It would be tempting for sure. That doesn't seem like they're going to actually take the bite, unfortunately, for 9's sake. They'd probably rather that the economy just keep on spiraling out of control. I prefer that One Win are willing to take this. Sure, you're going to be down 7-0, but get everything you can in this next round and hope to grind out back towards at least 5 or 6 on the CT side, which is still a salvageable position at that point. And they've got a couple rifles here, so it's not like their chances are absolutely null.
It's actually a bit more investment than I expected, to be quite frank. I mean, this isn't a bad buy. It's not a good one.
Did they get someone else to drop them the rifles? Because I saw they only spent low 3,000, yet they have armor and M4s.
Guess it must have been. Guess it must have been. Spreading the wealth. Spreading the moolah. When Travis obviously has been a little dynamic with that rifle, at least in terms of trying to get back in towards site retakes rather. Trusting Flamey with the second gun. See what they can do.
Not taking as much initiative maybe as I would have liked in those initial stages. A kill to ease the pressure would have been nice. Obviously, they've got this dink on the Kylar, which certainly will help, but he's on the op, so he can stick towards the back of the pack as they push out. It does seem like they want to actually probe around the A-bomb site. The MP9, though, holding up close on the ramp, the lay swing. Unfortunately, just after Jedker had already cleared his close corners and was ready for it.
And they're not even committing to this. They're going apartments. They've got all this presence. They've got the player in towards mid. Minio's got all this control. It's just about Flamey here. They're going to be able to get past Flamey. It is the 2M4s. You're right. It's a strong site. Flamey misses the first opportunity. He's got to get off of this angle. Utilities coming in now. Travis in the Molotov, committing himself into this. He's dropped, and that's the 2 guns down, and it's all on to Glowing. He's looking for a Glowing review here. Might be able to deny the bomb plant. Goofy slips away. A missed opportunity here, and Kylar will finish it off. Nicely done there as 9 maintain. They don't drop anything to that haphazard buy, to that mixed basket of guns. And now, for One Win, this becomes a round where, frankly, if they're going to do anything on this map, it better happen now.
Yeah, as I had said, I think the series could spiral out of control with this one, so I'm thinking if they want to do anything in this series, they'd probably want to have at this moment more so. Control again being the goal for 9. Keep it simple. SZPERO stood up on his teammate's head. They do eat a bit of a nade, which is never fun. But overall, the CT has actually been a bit more, I guess, taking a bit more initiative themselves this time around. Having backup at least on that player, pushed close on ramp. Fairly standard setup with the op on the angle, the M4 pushing in. But it is at least something. In the meantime, they had somewhat delayed that mid control with a few flashes and a few shots and such, just being kind of rang out with a little bit of damage done on top of it. So it's one of the better starts we've seen from One Win into a round, but it's still nothing really that substantial. All they've done is just avoid getting killed and do a tiny bit of damage in the meantime. 9 are still waiting really for that mistake, for that opportunity to arise.
Flashbang over. Pressure onto Glowing. Glowing has had a rough start to this, although the same can be said for all of his teammates, so not exactly a place to put individual blame. Glowing has an opportunity here, though, on the smoke fade. That silencer likely peeked over the lip of the window. They're certainly looking for it now. Kylar trying to punish, but here comes the first peek. Lollipop's been spotted playing close up. They really want to finish on this A take, and with 30 seconds to go, there's no time to spare. Here's going to come the exec. They're going to be moving in. It's a heavily reinforced site. Now comes the execution. Will hit the first. The trade is instant, though. Elsewhere onto his teammate. Glowing. A big pick to find. Takes out the connector presence. And it's even exchanges elsewhere. Deco needs to get away. He can't do it. A 2-on-2. This bomb has to go down. That will occupy one set of hands. And Flamey might just be in position to shut this all down. Jedka. The calm to actually just stay on that ball. But there we go. 1 win are on the board. They have achieved the 1 win in their name. And now the question becomes... can they find 2? Do they have to change their name if they get 2 wins?
I was just thinking that. Doesn't really work otherwise, does it?
Imagine if you could set it so that your name just counted up. So instead of being 1 win, it was like X win, and then every time they won a round, it ratcheted it up in the
X win's kind of a cool name, though.
It is kind of it. Cool.
Yeah.
At that point, I just want them to be named X-Wing.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was seeing like an X-Wing as their logo up the top.
Pretty
But
dope. I don't
Same
know if
idea as
Disney
those
would be
team
terribly
tags
happy
that can
with
change the thing you were saying before, though, you know?
Yeah.
I suppose. So you could, in theory, do it. I don't know if they all had one of those changing team tags on and we didn't have like the presetting at the top. Would it just take the name? Interesting. SZPERO, though. Opening kill. That is not a good start. It's actually just going to be just straight up B hit, potentially. No, just 2 players making a good bit of noise, hoping that would bait out the utility there from the remaining defender. And well, it has at least taken the molly out of his hands. Travis putting down everything he can, making sure he's not going to be overwhelmed. What a crazy push from Deco. What the hell? Puts the smoke down, obviously, so that he can take that peek in towards under, but he didn't have any info about what could have been there, if anyone was already present. They knew Apps definitely had a good bit of presence, so chances are at least 1 or 2 players have already made their way through under. Now it's a near impossible 5-on-3 for them to recover. It's going to be obviously not an instant reset because of loss bonus, but still they will be working with a weaker economy again.
It's really a pick your poison type of situation now for 1 win. They have to gamble something, so they'll flow 2 players over towards B. That does seem to be the right read, but with 44 seconds, there is no commitment just yet. Oh, Travis, don't go for the peek. He's thinking about it. Gonna get Molotov'd off. Lollipop actually caught a player on the other side of the map, so now that does eliminate the option. 9 will respond by heading straight into the site to decent effect. Glowing lines them up and knocks them down. Glowing stepping up in a big way. Now it's a duel with SZPERO on the site, but SZPERO with the up close can't get it done. Glowing has just pulled them out of the fire, has just given his team a chance here. That was a round he had no business winning, and instead 1 win get the chain 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, absolutely nasty. Shoots up from the bottom to the top of the scoreboard for his team as well. It goes to show you how much they've been struggling so far. That one massive play like that is enough to send them up the scoreboard already. But importantly, it's sending his team up the scoreboard. They get that 2nd round rather than just taking a stray round and being returned on. And they need only really 1 more to finally crack through the economy of 9. They had been doing somewhat, over the past few rounds anyway, decent damage. So the economy is not all there. And neither are all the players for 9 anymore. Jedker taken down to this ramp aggression this time. Great opening from Lollipop. They're looking to maybe slow things down a little bit as well. Never mind, Lollipop decides to go back into ramp. For now, though, 9 just split up on the default still. I don't think 100% certain about where they want to end this. They're waiting to see if anyone's maybe a little bit too far pushed. Someone that they can try and exploit at this point. But 1 win have no need to continue with the aggressive plays. They have tons of utility. They have their op. They can just compose themselves in the bomb sites, especially with the more aggressive hold they have. On ramp, that is. Oh. Those completely open.
Really would like that shutter to be broken, of course, but this could still be really bad, especially if Lollipop gets forced back and tries to back away. He's likely to be a dead man. Goofy's wormed his way out. Hasn't been able to execute on this position just yet, but the utility's going to give it away. Flashbang's effective. Not that effective, actually, but the bullets, well, they'll do the trick. No sight taken. 3 players completely out of position. have a kit at least, but I still don't think this is enough to justify them actually attempting this round, especially if Flamey is your point person with an MP9. I think this one's probably over and done with and likely to turn into a save. Speaking of saving, you and I were talking about it in the break a little bit. This new Lord of the Rings show. Not exactly doing a whole lot of saving. Massive budge.
Yeah, I mean, might be a good sign. Hopefully they didn't waste everything on focusing on the quality of it, and there's some actually good writing and interesting stories and such. Because that's just the main thing you want from a show. Honestly, I'll watch a 25-year-old show if it's got good stories. You get me? I don't really care about the quality. Like with games, I'll drop the FPS just to have a smooth frame rate. You get me? Yeah. I'm all about the experience more so, and in gaming, that's wanting things to feel smooth. And when you're watching stuff, it's about being actually pulled into the story and such. But I'm hopeful.
For me,
somewhat.
For me, I'm hoping they go back to some of the practical effects that we saw, obviously, in the original Lord of the Rings series. I felt like, I don't know if you share this opinion, but I really did not enjoy the Hobbit trilogy that they did.
Only watched the first one.
Yeah, don't finish it. It's not worth the time. They were really... The problem is the first one was the best one, and it wasn't even that great. There's just a lot of, like... It felt like CGI QuickTime video game sequences.
Yeah.
It was a weird movie. They could never figure out the tone. They flip-flop from serious to comedy to, like, theme park ride 3 times in any one given sequence. So I really hope the Ring of Power strikes the tone right and gets back to some of the visuals in the original one. Like, yeah, we don't need that much CGI. You know, the practical effects, the makeup. That was really where it felt like the world came to life.
Yeah, when CGI is used a bit more sparingly and on smaller things, it tends to blend in better. So hopefully that's the sort of thing that they're going to do with it. I'm sure there'll be some moments, though, where there's just like crazy things happening that you need it, but nothing crazy happening at the moment, really, is there, Mike? It's a very slow round. One winner obviously realizing they're spending all of the excess cash they have left over. If they're to lose this one, 9, run away to double digits, and probably just stomp them for the rest of the half. So really everything is on the line right now. Echo from under Palace with the off, maybe not the best of positions to be in, especially if a molly comes his way. There it is, the smoke now going to force him out. He's got to just cook in, but he's been spammed to bits. How the hell does he get a kill from that?
What?
Yedker gets no scope. He's going to be so mad that he's the one to die. Giving a bit of hope to his team, though. One win back into a 3-on-3. Suddenly, the flank from Glowin is good for 1. And they have Goofy trapped in on Tetris right now. And his teammate, I was going to say, was nowhere to be found, but he got that flank from short and just about took the pressure off Goofy in time. It's 9-2 to 9.
What a madcap round. They were trying to bail out and head towards B, but of course then Glowing comes up on the flank. They had no expectation of that. Incredibly fortunate for them that he only gets 1. If he gets 2 there, that round's probably over, even if Kyler gets activated from Catwalk, but it still works out for 9. The end result is the same. At this point, 9 doesn't really care how they win the rounds, provided they do. They've already got 9 rounds. They're looking for double digits here up against the D's. And a single MP9.
No scope was ridiculous from Deco, though. If he didn't get that, that round would have been over way, way quicker. It kind of just inspired some hope in the rest of them. Even the extra 2 or 3 seconds it wasted allowed that flank from Glowing to come in and such, and at least make it a slightly more costly round, even though at this point that doesn't really matter anymore. Unless they win this next gun round and do so convincingly with some damage here as well. Maybe then they could still break through the economy. Nine are playing very safe even with the advantages. It's what you want to see. Sometimes, especially on a map like Mirage, at a score like this, you might start getting a bit complacent. I guess is the way it can go sometimes, especially when the aim duels are going as well as they are. Contact on towards this A-bomb site. Goofy happy to be dinked up as long as he comes out with that initial kill. He'll trust in his teammates now to trade him going forward. They have the numbers and the weapons advantage. Never mind the numbers advantage. That's gone very quickly. The Deagles managing to snatch a couple of headshots. Goofy still down on 8 health. SZPERO not looking that healthy either. There is some hope here for one win to potentially steal something away in this round.
Problem is they have no util. They're so low. Getting hit with a flashbang is a concern for your life. And that's the healthy player now out, so it's going to have to be these incredibly wounded Deagles. Travis coming up ramp. Well, now he's the last one. I was going to say he'll have to be the linchpin here, but now he has to be everything. Hits the first, the second as well. Travis could do it. Travis could do it. One more headshot on to Kylar, and it's all over. The Travis is clearing one way, and Kyler goes high to offset the aim to secure the round to get double digits. That round was way closer than it had any business being. But, as we said last time, it doesn't matter how they win the rounds now, just that they do. Double digits found for 9. And at this point, it's about the twist of the knife. 10 rounds. T-side of Mirage is already so punishing. 1 win. Realistically, have to start winning here and get to 5. They have to stop this in its tracks. And 9 have shown no indication that they're going to allow it. That's quite the op for Deco. That is a vibrant gun. All kinds of purples on that AWP. We'll see when we go back to it.
For it
but,
to swap back over, yeah.
It's looking like he might be bringing it as like an accessory out to the clubs.
I don't keep up with the skins anymore. Haven't done in a little while. I'm looking at them. I'm sure it's pretty for the moment, though. 9 are happy to sit back, and he's probably just scoped in anyway. Yeah, indeed, he is waiting to see if this push is going to come towards mid. Not going to be getting much. I do like the idea, though, the counter flash on mid. We have seen mid presence being one of the main goals of 9 in most rounds, and they will eventually come this way. Molly's going to delay it a small bit, and Glow, and he may be considering the aggression now. If a flash was to come in at the very least, then it could be a decent idea. There's only 1 player here, and the bomb's actually there as well, so they could, in theory, get control of it. And well, it's solid timing from Glow, and catches him as he throws a flash out, I believe. Is going to push forward enough to potentially spot that bomb, but potentially lose his life at the same time if he sticks around, so I prefer that he's took in. Oh, they're checking. No, they're not.
No, they're not. 1, almost 2. That confirms the bomb, though. Still a man advantage. Positioning controlled as well. They can't risk going back in towards mid, knowing that it might have been activated. Kyler will try and take the space from the underpass. This could finally be bad for 9. Question is this play through the smoke. Lollipop timing is everything here. Kyler on the smoke fades. Is he going to be able to catch off Lollipop? The utility will distract Lollipop. May have just missed the window. Smoke is going to distract. He's got 1. He's got the 2nd as well. What a nice play from Kyler. The 1 smoke from his teammates is enough to convince them nobody's there. And that's Kyler taking full advantage and turning this round on its head. That's such a disappointing result for a 1 win. Normally, there'd be no way they'd even think about going for this, but they're so desperate. They're so desperate for a round win. They're going to try and battle for anything. Travis will take it first. But there's 2 more players to find. And now it's all on to Flame. He was just going to back off to save this AWP. 3 health. He can't risk it. That is such a bummer for 1 win. They were in control. They had the numbers. And just 1 very cheeky play from Kylar. The push through the smoke ruins everything.
He's been on point this game, though, as well. Up at 14 and 6, as is Yedker. Goofy's having a solid performance. Minio and SZPERO just kind of doing what they need to do. Because, well, there's only a limited amount of kills to go around, unfortunately. This has just been way more dominant than I ever would have expected. We knew that Mirage was going to be favored for 9. It is their map choice, but it's not like it's a map 1 win haven't played in recent times. And it's not like it's not a map that everyone knows how to play anyway, pretty much. It is kind of the go-to default these days. I mean, then we have Dust 2 coming up as well for 1 win. That's one that they're definitely more experienced on, but if they're coming off a loss like this, then my hopes are not going to be all that high. So I need to see something being salvaged here, preferably these final 2 rounds and maybe a pistol on the second half to really get things going. Limited utility here actually really isn't going to help their chances.
No, it makes it tough. They got to win these first contacts, these first engagements, have a chance at this one. Getting back in towards the site, getting back into any control that they lose. It's going to be a full nightmare. You can look, they've gone soft on B again. It's just Flamey. Just Flamey with a rifle and nothing else. If this was just a fast B hit, I think it's probably over already. Fortunately for them, 9 haven't read into that. It's heavy presence in mid, but Minio being out by the boxes already. I don't know if they're aware he's gotten out here. Daco is spotting for, but if he comes out the left side of the boxes, that should be 1, if not 2 kills coming through. Yeah, no one's focused in on this. Don't throw the util. Oh. There's a kill. There's a freebie. Doesn't realize the rifle's down close, though. Glowing might be able to bring this one back. They're going to focus on getting this kill, and indeed catches him with util in hand. I think a teammate must have shot Glowing there, because there was not a gun out from Minio. And seeing that much presence in mid, they're going to respond. Here comes the execute on A. They know the site's soft. There literally cannot be that many players on site. Travis might just be enough. A hop up from Lollipop. Here we go. Signs of life for 1 win. There's a pulse at the very least, and Lollipop goes right back up for 1 more. Here's that very funky op. It's in SZPERO's hands right now. And for SZPERO, this might be about economic damage. There's actually not a ton of cash on the T side. Somehow, some way, despite winning 11-2, their bank's pretty depleted here, Dean.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, they've been doing damage kind of since over the last 5 or 6 rounds. Obviously, they've been kind of getting close on a couple of them and such, but while it didn't get them anything on the board, it had broken down what initially had been like 13,000 on multiple players and such when the economy was at its peak for 9. So, as you said, a little bit surprising they got it to that point without winning any rounds, but they did do so and have somewhat limited the buy here. At least a couple of Galils are in play for the final round of the half. It's not a huge problem for 9, but it's definitely not ideal. Let's give 1win a slightly better chance of grinding out this 4th round, which we said was necessary. A little bit of confirmation that there is some mid-control coming in. Goofy strafes across connector, and in the meantime, dinks up glowing. No kills for the moment, but it's a little bit of damage. It's at this point just kind of warned 1win away from trying to challenge mid anymore. And with that, 9 have a ton of time to play off of it. See how passive they are in general. I think they're deciding that they need to get that B push at the very least in, so they have some sort of info about what's going on. And while the timing now could be a little bit awkward around here on mid, Deco and window, I think he may have missed the player actually creeping up in towards the ladder room. Either way, is forced to abandon it. And at this point, they're just in towards the sites directly. And as we mentioned, with so little utility, this is not going to be easy. How the hell has Yedgar gotten that opening kill? In towards jungle, apparently. Goofy's managed to creep through past the body and may have the position to cut off the rotation. Never mind, he actually shows himself a little bit early. Either way, that's now going to put it in the mind of these CT players that they have to worry about someone already in jungle, as well as potentially connector and ramp, so it's not going to be easy. But Deco does have a good position around this smoke to go ahead and put in a solid defense. He's already got one, and with the help of Lollipop, they might just be able to do it.
They need to clear Deco. They need to clear Deco. Time is so short, 12 seconds. He's right up here just to try and disrupt this bomb plant. That would be huge. They get the kill, but there's the trade. Kylo's dropped the bomb. They don't have time. They do not have time. SZPERO, you cannot win this round. He's just going to try for the kills, but SZPERO, well, there's no possibility here. So tucking a firebox is the best case scenario. Well, it's the half. It doesn't matter. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. a substantial lead here for 9, but a couple rounds there at the tail end for 1 win might just give them an avenue back in, Dean. It has to come with this pistol, though, realistically. So, well, early on, they're picking the right site, at the very least.
Yeah, B stacked up heavy. These smokes that are going down should cut off Minio from being able to do too much, and he's not going to get any picks on the initial push as it comes through anyway. It seems like they actually want to push deep in towards the jungle control rather than the CT. Seen something similar from Nyan back on their T side. It doesn't look like it's going to be going as well for 1 win, unfortunately, as SZPERO and Kylar pick off the opening kills, and it looks like it's going to be damn near flawless at this point. Eventually, a couple of trades begin to come in, but it's not enough, and it's all on Glowing. The bomb is planted for him, and he has the USP for range, but unfortunately, the numbers are just too much for him to handle, and there was already a smoke down on that bomb as well with Minio defusing. It's 12-4. As you said, there was a bit of hope at the end of the halftime as we were trailing out. Unfortunately, it's not going to be carried over to the second side for them, and now they desperately need to pull off this force buy.
I feel like this map has just been 1 win falling off a cliff the entire time, and then right at the end of the half, they managed to grab onto something with that pistol round when they get on towards sites, like putting a hand over the edge of the cliff to drag themselves back up, and then 9 just step on their knuckles.
Or it's like a nightmare. They're falling off the cliff, they wake up as they're about to hit the ground, but then it turns out it's all just another nightmare.
Layers. I like it. I like it. Aggression in towards mid. Travis trying to get things done here. That's what they need. They need this rifle to do something, and it's gone, and so are the rest. SZPERO lines them up over the smoke, and that could be it, Dean. I mean, realistically, that might be their entire chances. This map gone. SZPERO has no mercy. He's just hunting. He's a bird of prey. In this one, he's not a little sparrow, not a little songbird. He wants the kills, and SZPERO might just get the last. Oh, he's crept out. He's crept out. He's looking for the ace here. 1 more to be lined up. 1 lollipop to put this away. And SZPERO's got his beak sharpened, his talons at the ready. Just behind the top mid boxes rests lollipop. It's all on him. He's got a minute to work with, but you can see the panic in his eyes. He has no idea where this last hit is coming from, where this last fight is coming from. And SZPERO, for the moment at least, is going to show patience and not give it to him. Because look at Jedker. He's gone all the way back into spawn. He's ready for this backstab. Ready to put this game away. And now he's going to do exactly that. Nearly panics. Thought he had the one-shot headshot. Forgot he had an M4. But that won't be a problem in this next round. He's got the AK upgrade.
You say the backstab. Are you talking about the ace steal, or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
SZPERO got a chance. They let SZPERO get a chance. He didn't get the kill.
It's all about the round win. That's the main thing. I'm sure he's still feeling pretty confident with his 4K. It'll be a nice little addition to the HLTV stats either way. And more importantly, it seems like they're on track to take a super convincing map number 1 here in what is the match to send them forward into playoffs. So I don't think there'll be any sadness at all in SZPERO after that one. Looks like it's going to be a B rush. We haven't really seen a lot towards B. The early stages from Nyan maybe on their T side, but then after that it was mostly mid and A that we got to see. A little bit of a swap up as 1 win, try and bring the weaker buy in this direction, but they got cut off by the molly. They took a ton of damage, and well, it's not looking like they're going to find much success. They've already sent the bomb back around into a default to try and take some mid control as well here. It looks like it should be a relatively easy cleanup. We're going to get this gun round in the next from 1 win, and that really is their last chance to get anything going. I'm not hopeful that they're making a comeback happen by any means, but if they could get a few gun rounds and hopefully just feel better going forward to Dust 2, that would be helpful. Because at the moment, 9 are just on point.
Yeah, they need to get some juices flowing. Travis and Glowing has had some moments, but they're the only players who've looked in it, honestly. The rest have been getting out-dueled just consistently. Lollipop has had some plays in defense of the A site. It's one of those situations where you can't get the juices flowing, and that can haunt you. That can carry through to the next. They need to get a little warmed up here. This round is not going to be...
Jesus.
Okay. All right, here's your Flamey round. Flamey has been quiet all game. Gets 2 with the Deagle. Unfortunately, it's too little. Way too late. Deco with 1 HP is gone. Wallbang him. There you go. Minio deals with it. It's a team ace. Team ace. So they didn't get the ace in the last one, but they do get the team ace this time for 9.
Sometimes you have to call a player out for them to step up, and I had literally just started thinking, Flamey's been on 3 kills as long as I can remember, man. And I didn't even need to put the words out there, just thought was enough for him to go, all right then, fine, I'll do something.
I feel like that has been the hallmark of Flamey for a while now, where he has these incredibly quiet maps. Then he has one nut Steagle round, and that's kind of all you get from him in a map.
Yeah,
It's
not really enough.
It's crazy because he was such a firepower piece for Na'Vi for such a long time, and it's just, you do always wonder where that Flamey's gone. It's not been that for a long, long time.
No. Deco just ate a nade there at the start of the round when he tried to peek ramp as well, so things are not looking too great in the opening moments of this round for one win. And of course it is.
Side of this Palace player.
Oh, it's actually in on mid where we see the initial contact though. Minio goes down to Glowin on short, who swings and takes out Goofy as well. A 5-on-3. This is easily the best position one win have been in pretty much all game, let alone this half.
I think they know Jedka's isolated too, because he had a duel with the Palace player. They've seen the presence in mid. There's a pretty comfortable read that the site of A is going to be pretty light. Now they've got jungle, they can cut off rotations. This is a really tough spot for Jedka. And of course, the money hasn't really built up yet. It's too early in the half, so 9 might be tempted to pull the plug on this one if a bomb plant comes through. At least for the moment, Kylar is adjusting to reinforce. Here's the plant going to be stuck. They're going to commit to this. The op should start to rotate as well, but doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Jedka's in a tricky spot to even get out of this. Maybe a flashbang to get him around the angle. But either way, it doesn't seem like Nine's going to try too hard about this retake.
Yeah, if they had money, it would have been ideal because they could have tried to have at least taken out a couple of the low health players, and having that man in a ticket in the side that wouldn't be expected could have been good for catching a couple off guard, but yeah, they just can't really afford to lose their own weaponry. Minio will be able to buy for himself. Yedker can drop the Goofy. They need everything just to scrape the buy together. And that's what they want to do. They want to get the pressure back on one win immediately before they can start building sort of confidence. And, well, obviously the main thing then would be the economy alongside it as well. They'll need that. One round is lost. If they didn't have money to buy, they'd be facing down the barrel of a loss pretty much. Even with the economy, the best they could do is an overtime. So this T-side will need to be flawless. But it's a start. It is something, as we said, at the very least, if not towards a win here on Mirage, hopefully towards one on Dust 2 to take it to a 3-map series, which it looks like it will need to be. And as we were mentioning, map 3 being, was it Overpass? Yeah, Overpass is a bit of an unpredictable one between these two. There's not a lot of history, not a lot played. There's a few games from 1 win, a couple from 9. But they're not against the greatest of competition or anything. And, well, look at this from Deco and Glowin.
Is Catwalk player going to come through? The edge of the smoke. Travis looking for that fight. Got to be careful once it fades. Obviously, the up-in window, a huge threat. But it seems like they've redoubled their efforts over towards A.
I think this is what 9 wanted.
Yeah, they're pretty well set up for it. SZPERO going to be the point of contact. That AWP, so potent in his hands. He's the final boss here. If they're going to get a bomb point, they have to get past SZPERO. Good flashbang. But the bomb still needs to get out from ramp. And it's just going to be left to Deco. Travis is completely on the other side of the map. He's going to try and work his way back through spawn, but if he gets checked by Goofy, that might be him going for a goner. The timing is there. Goofy finds it, and now it is just this man to try and keep 9 off of map point. He's even been tagged down to 18. Deco needs a miracle. He's praying to whatever deity he might believe in, because right now he needs divine intervention. He's in purgatory. Here's going to come the swing. There's going to come the finishing blow from Goofy. There's going to come 15 rounds on the board for 9. They only drop 1 round before immediately recovering. And at this point, Dean, they've got 10 chances. 10 to put this away.
Yeah, should be damn near impossible for them to lose this. And the hope is that they can close it out here and now. Win-win, still have a good buy. As we mentioned, they at least built the money from that previous round. Flamey's gone for a Krieg, interestingly enough. Might be able to throw some of those one-taps as he did with the Eagle, perhaps. He's there for Deco, hoping to catch the crossover. And while the time in there, if he had waited and just taken the shot, he might have actually gotten himself a kill. So that's a bit unfortunate. Instead, 9 are going to take the deep ramp control, and they've gone very heavy on their A presence here on this. They're expecting a straight-up site push, and while they might just find it, at least one player decided to probe through that ramp smoke. I'm not too sure how Lollipop gets away with only taking 30 points of damage right there. That's crazy. If he's heavily committed.
They don't expect it. 1, 2. Can't quite get the third, but still good damage done. Flamey at least getting some contribution in this round. Gonna be in a tough spot. Even if they do get in towards connector, right? They're gonna have to rotate Flamey back through to get the bomb, bring it towards ramp. Presumably, they're both pushing up. Now they lose bodies. So what is even the plan here? Not sure, but it won't matter for very long. It's just gonna be Flamey in a 1v3. One more attempt, one more try here. He's going to the op to do so. They don't have to give him the fight. They know he doesn't have the bomb. They may not know where it is. They know he ain't got it. And now with the AWP and Abject Panic, he should be a dead man, and indeed he is. 9 will take the dub. They will move it through, and they will move up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. I wasn't really sure about the game coming in, to be honest, because one win yesterday, they had a pretty solid show and taking the 2-0 versus Saw. We knew 9 obviously don't have the most stable of roster right now. There's a possibility that they might still have a change going into the third map if we get that far. So it's still a bit of a question mark, but if 9 can carry over that momentum and get it done on Dust 2, then I think